Join us now for Education Matters, a weekly look at the real people and real stories in education across North Carolina.
Welcome to another episode of Education Matters presented by the Public School Forum of North Carolina. I'm your host, Keith Poston. Today on the show, we're going to talk about vulnerable students. All young people deal with pressure and stress in their lives, some that just comes with the territory from just growing up. But certainly two groups of students today are feeling it acutely: children of immigrants and LGBT youth. This week we talked with experts on how these students are coping and what is being done to support them both in and out of school. Like every week before we tackle our main topic, we open with a topic we call Edlines, a quick scan of education headlines across North Carolina and the U.S. Governor Roy Cooper was in Charlotte this week to announce a new teacher pay plan that will be part of his first budget. He's calling for a 10% salary increase for teachers over the next 2 years without raising taxes. The price tag is $813 million and includes a new teacher supply stipend of $150 per teacher each year to help offset what the governor said are teachers spending money out of their own pockets to buy classroom supplies. The governor says his proposal will take North Carolina's average teacher pay to the top in the Southeast in 3 years and to the national average in 5 years. 1 month into the new session of the North Carolina General Assembly, there's a lot more activity in education. The House has unanimously passed a bill to address the K-3 class size issue created by last year's budget that school officials across the state warned could lead to sharp cuts in PE and arts teaching positions. At this time, though, it is unclear if there is support in the Senate for the measure. From a bigger picture perspective, the General Assembly continues to debate how to move forward on major changes for how the state funds schools. A recent debate was around the makeup of a task force to review changes, and there are clearly differences in opinion on how quickly to move forward in overhauling the finance structure. Last week's show focused on North Carolina's private school voucher program known as Opportunity Scholarship Program. The day we taped, there was breaking news related to the state's top recipient of voucher money, Trinity Christian School in Fayetteville. An employee at that school was arrested last week on charges of embezzling nearly $400,000 in public tax dollars. Trinity Christian School is the largest recipient of voucher funding. Since the program started, the school has received nearly $1 million in taxpayer-funded school vouchers. We'll keep you updated as the investigation unfolds. Finally, U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos continues to be a lightning rod in her first few weeks on the job. You'll recall there was a scene at a D.C. public school that she visited on her first day where protesters, who we'll show here on the screen, blocked her entrance to the back of the school before she continued on with her tour. Now, when she left that day, she described the school as awesome. But last week, in an interview with a conservative publication, Town Hall, she seemed less impressed, saying the teachers at Jefferson Middle School seem to be in receive mode and were waiting to be told what they have to do. As you can imagine, that didn't go over really well with the teachers at the school, who unleashed what has been called a tweet storm. The school, by the way, is one of the fastest improving schools in D.C. In response to it, the D.C. school chief also weighed in, praising the teachers and the learning at that school. Some of the teachers suggested that perhaps Secretary DeVos needs to be in receive mode herself about what's going on in our country's public schools. Now remember, you can visit the Public School Forum's website at ncforum.org, click Education Matters, and read more about each of these headlines as well as other topics we cover each week.